Hi and welcome to part 3 of our isolation and loneliness videos. So part 1 we covered isolation and loneliness and what they actually are and what they mean. In part 2 we looked at isolation and loneliness in respect of our customer base and looked at some specific case studies on where it was highlighted as an issue. And today we're going to be looking at what we can do or what's being done about loneliness and isolation and how we're trying to combat it. So on a national level, just recently £11.5 million has actually been injected into 126 projects throughout the UK, which have been highlighted as organisations that are going to work and look at and focus on loneliness and engaging it with individuals who are seen to be isolated to try and combat loneliness as best as can be done, really. Now, Theresa May herself actually said that isolation and loneliness are incredibly damaging to our communities, and that was on the back of this 11.5 million being injected into the system. On a more local level, Voices are actually putting on, there's 2 dates currently, a course about loneliness and isolation and focusing on the individuals that we support. So looking at what can be done, how we can recognise it, and looking at ways of which we can try and combat loneliness locally. Another initiative is the Blue Iris Project. They are again a local project. Any more information can be found on Facebook or on the internet, and they are basically just highlighting again that loneliness is an issue, and as a community we need to be doing something about it. So that brings us to individually. What can we do as individuals to help society, help combat loneliness, isolation? I think it's just speaking and reaching out to people, establishing communication, being aware that phones, aren't the only way of talking. Actually have a conversation, ask someone, how is your day? Listen to people, what they're saying, not just go in, especially with, people we might support or friends, not go in with an itinerary, okay, we need to do X, Y, and Z. Sit back, have a coffee with someone, have a chat. It's, it doesn't cost £1 million. What's that, 5-10 minutes out of your day? It could be the answer. It could change someone's life, even if it's just for that day. So my advice would be talk to someone. Don't matter whether you're in the street, on the bus, in the supermarket. Costs nothing to say hello.